Interestingly, slashers were in decline when this film came out. We start off the bat with what might be one of the most famous opening scenes to a slasher film, where we immediately get one of the ongoing themes that the franchise will draw back into. In this case, everybody in the Scream universe watches horror films, or at the very least has extraordinary movie knowledge. I will say that while I enjoy Kevin Williamson's writing and filmography, his dialogue very much follows the same sort of pattern you'd see in a Tarantino film, where it's not quite how someone would talk, but it's close to how people that are really interested in the topics that are brought up would maybe talk about them. Like, me and my friends would definitely talk about films the way you'd see in Scream, but if I were having the same conversation with my parents, it wouldn't sound the same. We'll definitely come back to this, though, as for now we see this theme played out in the phone calls, with this one being very specifically about the trivia of popular slashers. Interestingly, slashers were in decline when this film came out. By this point, a lot of the major slashers, Friday the 13th and Halloween, to use the examples they give in this cold open, had already had multiple sequels, with a lot of people actually getting tired of those franchises. Halloween was already about to be soft rebooting in 2 years with H2O, with the uncredited help of Kevin Williamson, ironically. And Friday the 13th had just had Jason go to hell, and was about to send him into space, which we know is basically the point your slasher film series has died in terms of ideas. Even Wes Craven's New Nightmare was essentially the prototype of what Scream would become, and most people didn't really like that take on Freddy, with him being a lot more silly than scary in what was the Elm Street series' 7th film. So, horror fans wanted something different, which all makes it interesting to have our first main victim, Casey, though Steve might be able to take credit for that role, really, be knowledgeable for the most part of what at this point was slowly becoming a dying subgenre. The suspense we immediately get, though, with the music, the stove on fire thanks to the popcorn, the possible chance of escape with Casey's parents literally right there on the driveway, is perfect. You almost think Casey could escape, not only because of some of these possible chances of luck, but also if you are knowledgeable in film, you know Casey is played by the famous child actor Drew Barrymore. Unfortunately, Casey's parents just miss her, and don't see or hear her as she tries to call for their help, and Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson show their appreciation for slashers, even as they plan to examine the tropes of them by paying homage to Psycho by having their big-name star be killed early on. And we get, honestly, one of the most disturbing deaths within this film, as she's left on a tree for her parents to find before the stinger plays and our cold open ends. Thus, we enter the next stage of this film, being something different for slasher fans.